My name is Ramlethal Valentine. I declare war on all the world. All those unworthy to stand upon it will be destroyed. The future is the past.
The Guilty Gear franchise finally gets continuation after 6 years of being on hiatus. This game appeared in arcades in early 2014 and is console exclusive on the PlayStation 3 and 4. This is also the first 100% sequel since the first Guilty Gear X2, which came out in 2002 on the PlayStation 2. You're in for one hell of a ride, full of overdrives and instant kills. The story of Guilty Gear Xrd takes place after the events of the first title, which was on the PlayStation 1, and Guilty Gear X2 Overture, which is on the Xbox 360. The story of Xrd starts in the year 2187, when a woman identifying herself as Ramlethal Valentine declares war upon the entire world. This may sound like any typical villain versus good guy story, but it's far more different. In the game story mode, you actually do not play the story at all. You're going to sit for 4 hours watching a bunch of text-based scenes and anime-style visuals, with the only controller function needed is to save, continue, and exit in between chapters. The story has 10 chapters, each with 2 to 3 parts. Without revealing anything about the story, you would definitely need to play arcade mode first with each of the initial 14 available characters before entering this mode, as it gives you more of a backstory. The story in itself is great, especially if you're familiar with Guilty Gear and enjoy anime. However, if you do not enjoy either of those, the story is still valuable for a watch. The presentation of Guilty Gear Xrd is one of the most standout areas of the game. The animations are fluid and visually stunning with the anime-based graphics that are presented. This is arguably the best looking 2D fighter to date. One could debate this topic, with these visuals make a strong case. Each battle is started with each character having an animated introduction into the match, and you immediately jumped into gameplay soon after. Every character's instant kill gives off an anime-inspired attack along with a speech, which is visually stunning to say the least. The sound on this game is also a strong point, as each sound effect is heard carefully blended into the rock-based soundtrack for each stage. The soundtrack itself is something magnificent, which appeals heavily to those who enjoy hard guitar riffs. The voice acting on the game is superb when playing in the native Japanese language. The passionate delivery from each voice actor is displayed and has been throughout the series. However, on the flip side, the English voice acting is pretty bad for the most part, but tolerable. Characters like Ramlethal is poorly represented in the English language, while guys like Batman have great voice actors. All in all, I say play in English if you don't want to read subtitles and prefer to keep the action flowing, but Japanese is recommended for a better overall experience. Gameplay is where Gear Gear XR shines the brightest. The core gameplay will be familiar with those of the series or players who played 2D fighters before. The combat in this game may seem linear and not complex on the outside, but deep inside of this game, the mechanics are robust and difficult to master. The action is fast paced, so you have to stay on your toes when playing the game. Luckily, the game features modes to help you better yourself in the game. The practice modes include a tutorial, which gives you a guide through beginner, intermediate, and advanced tactics to utilize throughout the game. Mission mode further advances upon tutorial mode, with giving the user a chance to test out tactics against a live opponent. The user has 7 chances to get at least 4 in order to move on to the next challenge. Challenge mode is the main mode you'll need if you want to specifically learn an individual character. Here you'll be treated to learning the basics, overdrives, and combos of each character in about 36 trials. Some of these trials with the characters require a high level of user timing, so be prepared. Once you get everything down, or mostly, you'll realize that this is one of the most rewarding games in terms of overall gameplay. The high learning curve will make you want to play this game to get better, and when you do win, you'll feel as if you've accomplished a lot. You will want to play plenty of offline versus or arcade matches to get the gameplay down to a science. Online is presented to the user in the form of a virtual arcade with up to 64 players. While not as elaborate as the one found in BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma, it still suffices. You select the region in which you want to enter. They are broken into groups such as North American East, North American West, EU, and Asia. After selecting the region, you select the area of play. If you select each, you'll have choices such as New England Atlantic or Southern Atlantic. Once you're past this, there are about 20 or so rooms for each locale. Enter a lobby and you'll see players' avatars inside. From here you can join a lobby or create one. The lobby is basically your typical winner stays style waiting line, but there are 3 other arcade machines in the lobby in which players waiting can have their own matches. This is where you'll find the majority of players online. For ranked matches, you press the triangle button to set up your options by selecting the character and setting your parameters in which you want to play. The game does feature crossplay between the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, which is a cool function. Online netcode so far has been hit or miss, especially at launch, but since the patch came out, the online has been solid. Getting laggy maybe 3 out of 10 matches. Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger, in my opinion, still sets the standard for the best netcode I've seen on any console game. The game also features a user database where you'll find profile, gallery, library, and replays. In your profile, you're allowed to select an avatar which will represent you in the online lobbies. Edit your comment and quick replies. Select titles and set your availability for people to see. In the gallery, you'll find your opening and ending videos from arcade mode. Purchase Send Kiss for $200,000. Purchase additional BGMs, purchase voice tests, and illustrations. Library is where you go once you complete story mode. In this mode, it'll summarize everything you need to know about Guilty Gear up to the point where it is currently in Xrd. It also gives profiles on characters throughout the series. Replays is where you'll find your greatest accomplishments or biggest failures. These save automatically unless turned off in the game's main options. Also, there's an option in the network tab store for which you can purchase Leo Whitefang and Elfelt for $5.99 or quickly unlock Sin Kiss for $2.99 if you don't want to unlock him the hard way. The final mode in the game is MOM, the Medal of Millionaires, which puts you against an AI in a series of rounds. Basically, this is like the RPG mode of the game. You can edit and power up your character to your liking by defeating enemies in one-on-one combat. The difficulty of the mode is random, and you can purchase items such as bombs, lightning, and potions to make your character stronger. Also, you can use this character in online play in a player match lobby if the host of the lobby allows it. Also, for the PS4, users can use the share play function to play the game with a friend who doesn't own the title for up to 1 hour. This is pretty good if both parties have a good internet connection. It felt like playing the game offline when we tried it a few days ago. This game marks the return of one of the best fighting game franchises out there. Although it may not have the recognition of Street Fighter, it's still one of the greatest franchises in 2D fighting. With a roster of 17 characters and 5 of those characters being newcomers, which is Batman, Elfelt, Ramlethal, Leo, and Sin, this game is a step in the right direction for the franchise moving forward into the next generation of gaming.
Take this! This is last! Sacred Edge!
Counter. There's no holding back.
Finish the
That's it. That's it.
Blast! Good attempt! Blast! Sacred Edge! Finished! You're mine!
Lightning ball deployed. All systems slide.
Blast!
Hammerfall.
Finished! I can see you! Let's go! Sacred Edge!
Counter.
Sacred Edge! I can see you!
Mission failed.
Good. We must do this again. Kai. Win. Straight. Duel. 3. Keep on rocking.
Counter. I can start. There's more.
It's not over yet.
You've already made the mistake that will cost you.
How many times must I tell you? No picnics!
Destroy.
All that hard work and no results. You must be feeling awful, perhaps wondering where it all went wrong or why you're such a failure. I blame myself, I really do. I should have explained how powerful I am. My apologies.
Bet wins.